Hello everybody, here I'm having a short look at the Spyderco Kiwi latest generation being a slip joint knife. This knife, the visitors of the Spyderco meeting in Amsterdam got it as a present, and we all think that's very friendly of Spyderco to give us this nice keepsake. The Kiwi is not a new knife, you could say. It existed since a long time, and in fact one of my earlier videos has here the Kiwi slip joint, which is now backlock, which is now out of production, and it will be interesting to compare them a bit. I come back to that. It exists as purely stainless steel, so it will be quite a bit thinner than, or here the version with Stag, so real Stag horn. It's made in China, making the price very reasonable, while it has Stag, which is a bit a luxury material, and which you usually don't find so often on Spyderco's. So it's around 1.5 centimeter thick, so 2/3 of an inch thick, you could say, because of the way how the Stag sticks out, and it helps really in the hand holding. 47 grams, so yeah, you barely notice it in your pocket. You see it's Spyderco here, and the steel is 8CR13 MOV, so it's that Chinese mid-range steel that they use very often for their Chinese production knives. The Tenacious has it as well, and here it says China, and it is a decent mid-range steel. Definitely in the context of this is in fact really a pen knife, kind of a knife, a gentleman knife to keep in your pocket without a clip, to keep in a dress when you're dressed up in a suit. I mean, something that doesn't feel tactical or scary at all. Really a small little utility knife, and for that the blade steel is pretty okay. So notice how compact it is when closed. It's around 85 millimeter. So the blade itself, well, it depends on how you measure. The cutting edge of it is a bit longer than 5 centimeter, around 53 millimeter, and when you go really to the beginning of the handle, it's around 63 or so, so roughly a centimeter between here and here, but 53, it's a bit more than 2 inches for the cutting part. The steel itself has a thickness of, I think, 2 millimeter. Let's see. No, 3 actually. 3 millimeter. No, sorry, 2. Excuse me, it's 2 millimeter. Which is 2 millimeter, perfectly okay for the intended use. So, being a slip joint and quite small, this will be legal in many countries to carry. Now, what you have with a slip joint, so here the middle part of the handle is actually the spring that will keep the blade. Well, first of all, will prevent it from easily coming out, and will more or less, well, not really lock it into place, but hold it into place. Now, because it's a slip joint, while the spider hole, you would think it's a one-hand opening knife. Well, yes, you can with some effort, but it's not really easy to do. It's much easier to open it with 2 hands, and the reason is that you don't have really leverage for your thumb, because the handle is a bit small when it's closed, so it is much more difficult to open it with 1 hand than a bigger knife. And also then the slip joint holds, so it's the smallness of it, and also the slip joint tends to hold it close. That together makes it not the ideal 1-hand opener, but okay. I mean, in the context of this knife, I don't mind that really much. You notice, and we will soon see the comparison compared to the original Japanese one here. The openings could have been a bit, well, this a bit nicer made, but especially you see here but it's quite okay for the price. This is a pretty cheap knife, a good gift. Notice also the deep choil here. So that is typically Spyderco, and that's why this knife was so suited to make a slip joint variant, is that if you would hit the blade like that, it won't close on your fingers because your first finger is in the way. So that is one of the more practical things. And you see while it's not a lock, it's pretty stiff. So that's pretty good. Let's compare this with the original one. Well, strangely, the original one is a bit shorter. Look. This is the red bone one, and you can see here when you look at well, let's see how can I best do that, like this maybe. Blade length, look. The original one is around 46 millimeter, the blade, so 47, so it's a half a centimeter or so difference in blade length. That's quite surprising. The total length is also, you see, a bit less. I mean of the blade. Oh, sorry, wait, I have to keep it here. So it's really the part of the cutting edge. The rest is pretty much the same. It's also a bit thinner, even just the metal part is a bit thinner. Oh no, sorry. The metal part is very much the same thickness. Now it's the cutting edge of the new one which is a bit thicker. The lanyard hole at the back is a bit larger of the new one. In the old one is you can barely stick anything through. Now it's not the kind of knife I think that would would improve with the lanyard. I mean this is a nice gentlemanly knife. Notice also the old one had this was slightly rounded here, the bolsters, so nicely polished, and had a VG10 steel. Seki City, Japanese VG10 steel, meaning a class higher than the Chinese steel, but of course it was more expensive. And here the red bone of this one was perfectly inlaid, so you when you go with your thumb over it, you don't feel any gap really. It feels really a class higher than the slip joint. And also, so I will close it. So this one has a backlock, the original one had a backlock. And because it's so smooth, even if the backlock is a similar kind of spring as in a slip joint, but it's still smoother to open it. This one you could still open easily with one hand. The new one is less easy. But okay, the old one is now collectible almost. It was, in fact, for your information, I believe it was my first Spyderco. And I didn't expect it to be so small. I thought it was a bit bigger, but I love it a lot. And in fact, I still think that Spyderco should investigate making a somewhat bigger variant of this one. That would be so cool. And I understood that on the Chinese market there are, as with a lot of products, there are some copies of the Kiwi. I've never seen any, but some of them, from what I read that, are quite a bit bigger than the original one. Now I'm absolutely not in favor of buying pirated or copied goods, but I would be curious to try simply for the hand holding of a larger Kiwi. I still think that the general ergonomic design could be translated well to a bigger knife, where for example this cutout would easily accommodate 2 fingers and still keep that one. But so it's the new slip joint, a very nice gift, be it completely stainless, be it with Stag, a very nice gift, and a very nice non-aggressive pocket knife. It's really a Spyderco definition of a classic gentleman knife with that particular Spyderco look. It looks a bit like a small bird indeed. So I hope you found this interesting. As usual, feel free to leave feedback.